Golly, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, whose season is struggling as bad as I was on that last read.
My dog.
So they're shaking up their roster this week. Dallas traded defensive end Everson Griffin and released defensive tackle Don Terry Poe. Jerry Jones said they released Poe because he was, quote, 30 pounds overweight. My God.
Damn.
The trade deadline is Tuesday, and our pal Colin Cowherd said a perfect deal would be Dallas trading Amari Cooper to the Packers. Huh, I like that, Colin. So is it time, Marcellus, for the Cowboys to rebuild?
No, not in a traditional sense, and not what Colin is talking about, but maybe rebuild the culture. Oh, which may look like a different team as we rebuild this culture. But that said, I want everyone to just take a collective deep breath. I meditate a lot. I sit in the dark as you laughed at me yesterday. It really hurt me deeply, like in my spirit and my soul. I was like, am I weird for sitting in the dark all the time? But I really take time for myself. The biggest pom-poms I have in life to cheerlead anything is for myself. Between these ears, go Wiley, did I come out? I don't look too cocky. I don't look too confident. But at the same time, I'm always working on me. That's what's happening in Dallas right now. This is not about rebuilding. This is a prelude. You know what a prelude is? Do you remember the old...
Prelude or prelude?
Well, prelude. I call it prelude. Prelude. I could go with you. Prelude. You want prelude?
At least pronounce it right.
Well, in Columbia, prelude. I don't know Texas. All right, let's go. Prelude. Here you go. Before it all starts, right? Like that. That's not really a song. Is that an intro? Oh, no, okay, you're getting ready for it. And then, wow! Why do I keep bringing that up? Because Tampa. Because Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay last year was a losing team. And what happened this year? Oh, how many things have changed just because the quarterback is there and the culture, more importantly, has changed. What about Pittsburgh? They weren't a winning team last year, got their quarterback knocked out for the season. Oh, what are they right now? One of the Super Bowl contenders. So if you're Dallas, you have to look at this for the long game, which is, hey, we could do what Tampa and Pittsburgh did last year. More importantly, let's do it this year. How many wins do we have? 2. How many does Philly have? 2. They're leading the division. This year's not done, big dog. Prelude, whatever you want to do. Look for the Cowboys to stay pat, change the culture, and have some dividends.
So I kind of agree with you. It's only because your take was all over the place. I had to agree with some of it. I will say that it is rebuild time for the Dallas Cowboys because you either rebuild or you reload. It's not reload time, right? They don't need more additional weapons. They don't need more firepower. The weapon's not firing. So if it's either rebuild or reload, then for me it is rebuild. Where I do agree with you is what you said. I think you got to rebuild the confidence and you have to rebuild the competence. You have to rebuild both. Their defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, said, we're getting beat in playing cover 3. High school coverages. Like, the Cowboys roster isn't currently competent in what they're doing, and they also are not confident in what they are doing. You gotta clean house a little bit.
They doing it.
I mean, they trying to, but you gotta clean house because it's like, if you look at it, you got weapons. You have the weapons, but the weapons aren't working. So what will have to work? You gotta change the culture, you gotta change the atmosphere, you gotta change the structure. Who dictates the culture? The head coach. I'm not going to go there because we ain't got time for it, but they got to rebuild. They have to.
I don't think rebuild. I think rebuild is too extreme, and even reloading is unnecessary. How about that you just extract from what is the issue here in terms of the culture? In every culture, what do they say about culture? It's what you enforce, what people are incentivized to do. In any culture, it's not what's written on the walls in terms of discipline, determination, and all that. It's about who is getting away with what? And that's what they're trying to do. Hey, if you're overweight, you got to go, Don Terry Poe. Well, Ezekiel Elliott, if you're not holding on to the football or you're not being professional in terms of leadership, then we have to deal with that. You can't get rid of Zeke because of his talent level, but you could get rid of some of the bad habits. I think they're in the process of doing that right now. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy joins us, and he has a lot to say about Cam Newton. And maybe me, maybe you, everybody gonna get it next. Speak for yourself, Uncle Jimmy time. Uncle Jimmy joins us. That kind of scared me. We already talked about Cam Newton's problems in New England, but here you have your own thoughts on Cam. Take it away, Uncle.
Look here, man. Have you ever heard the phrase that acceptance is the first step to recovery?
Yes.
Okay. Cam Newton is at a point in his career where he's got to start accepting the fact that he might have to start thinking about life after football.
Oh, man.
You know, Cam Newton is at a point in his career where his name is mentioned amongst the likes of Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, okay? All of these dudes play for different teams, but all of these guys play for the same cause. These guys keep playing this game because they don't want to have to go home and deal with their wife and their badass kid. This is why NFL players go into coaching, they go into broadcasting, they go into writing books. Ron Wiley. Hey, man, NFL players ain't no different than any other man in America. If you give us our choice, we will be the groundskeeper in any stadium in America. If you leave us the hell alone and give us some peace and quiet. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't.
This is why men die before women.
Alcho wrote a book too. You guilty as charged.
Mine
as
ain't
well.
come out yet.
You better stay
Mine ain't
off
come
me.
out yet.
I love my family, kinda. Fox